Thanks, Kerlock. Just very briefly, I just want to raise the topic that seems to be very prevalent, and maybe it's because the local elections are coming up and people are out and about more often. Illegal dumping, both in urban areas but particularly in rural areas, where I keep seeing photographs on Facebook of local election candidates and sitting councillors who have been canvassing somewhere, and there's a bag of 50 black bags in a field. Sometimes they've been set on fire, sometimes they haven't. And I don't know whether it's an industry, as in there are people collecting from houses and doing it, or whether it's just people with their private waste. I think we need to look at, and I'm calling, I suppose, Leader, on you to ask the Minister for the Environment urgently, the Minister Bruton, to come in here and discuss this topic, because it seems to be rampant right across the country. Now, there's an issue, I know, in urban areas of people dumping, and people move out of houses and we discovered there's 100 black bags in the back garden and various other things. But equally in rural areas, and I see bags that are regularly, they're full of cans, they're full of bottles, they're full of paper, all of which are recyclable for nothing. Now, maybe their recycling facilities are a long way away in terms of the civic centres they can bring this stuff to. But there's probably an education process needed. Maybe there's an issue with collectors are very expensive. Maybe there's an issue. But I think we need to survey households, see where their waste is going. Lots of people are responsibly dispose of the rubbish either through a door-to-door collector or go to civic recycling facilities. And my own former local authority of Dunleer at Downer, where I live, they're winning awards for having good recycling centres. And I'm sure most local authorities have very good recycling centres. But there is going to be a residual amount that's not recyclable. We need to try and reduce that as much as possible in terms of what packaging is permitted and what's not. But it is a scourge right across the landscape. I mean, I saw Tidy Towns in clean-up, I think it was in Ballybrack in Dublin, and they produced hundreds of bags very easily and very quickly in a relatively urban area where there is waste collection available. So I think, Leader, you might facilitate earlier, as soon as possible, a debate on the waste market. I'm not giving out about waste collectors. They do a job, and I think they do it by and large well. But there are certainly people who are not using these services and who are not responsibly disposing of the waste in other ways. And I think we do need to look at what can be done. It can't be allowed to continue that people just in the middle of the night are throwing sofas and electronic equipment and black bags in the middle of hedges for the rest of us ultimately to have to pay for it to be cleaned up. Thank you, Kerlock.
Thank you very much.